She's getting warm.
Okay, great.
What are you doing here?
Just trying to find your missing girl.
This is my case. This is my town.
You've made a real mess, Fox. I know. You get what you get, and you don't get upset.
Well, I'm upset.
Hey, pals and gals, let's talk movies. And today, we're diving into Stone Cold Fox, a new retro crime thriller that I was genuinely looking forward to checking out. The premise is immediately gripping. It follows a young woman named Fox, played by Kiernan Shipka, who manages to break out of an abusive commune. But her freedom is short-lived when the commune's queenpin, Goldie, kidnaps her younger sister and sends a crooked cop after her, forcing Fox to infiltrate the very place she just escaped from to get her sister back. It's a solid setup for a gritty, female-driven revenge story, and with a cast that includes Krysten Ritter and Kiefer Sutherland, there's a lot of potential here. And for the most part, the movie is a perfectly watchable, sometimes fun ride, but it's one that never quite manages to live up to the cool promise of its concept. Let's start with the positives, because there are definitely things to like here. First and foremost, the cast is really trying their best to elevate the material. Kiernan Shipka makes for a compelling lead. She brings a great mix of vulnerability and determination to Fox, and you believe her as someone who's been through hell and is willing to go back to save the one person she cares about. There are a few moments where she breaks the fourth wall, mid-action even, and these little winks are a ton of fun. It's a shame the movie doesn't commit to this stylistic choice more consistently, because when it happens, it gives the film a unique personality that it desperately needs. Then you have Kiefer Sutherland as the corrupt Sergeant Billy Breaker. And folks, he's clearly having an absolute blast in this role. He plays this casually bigoted, slimy cop with such relish that he basically steals every scene he's in. You can tell he knows exactly what kind of pulpy B-movie this is, and he leans into it perfectly. His scenes, especially the ones where he's butting heads with Jamie Chung's by-the-book Officer Corbett, have a great energy to them. Speaking of the supporting cast, there are some other fun faces. Ms. Hel Prada shows up as an ex-combat medic named Frankie, and she's a real highlight, bringing a jolt of unpredictable energy whenever she's on screen. The movie also nails its aesthetic, at least on a surface level. It's drenched in this 80s vibe, with grainy filters, neon-soaked lighting, and multiple key scenes set in a roller skating rink that just oozes retro cool. There's a character whose whole personality is just referencing classic action movies like Rambo, which is a cute, if a little on the nose, touch. For the first act, I was totally on board with the style and the world building. It feels like the filmmakers really wanted to capture the spirit of those gritty, character-driven thrillers from that era. But this is where the movie starts to run into some problems. While the style is there, the substance feels a little thin. The plot is pretty straightforward, which isn't always a bad thing, but here it feels like it's moving from one predictable beat to the next without a lot of surprise or genuine tension. The central conflict, Fox needing to steal a duffel bag of cocaine to buy her sister's freedom, takes a surprisingly long time to get rolling, and the middle section of the film meanders a bit. The stakes, which should feel incredibly high, often feel curiously low. My biggest issue, and this was a tough one, was with Krysten Ritter's villain Goldie. Ritter is a fantastic actress, and seeing her play against type as a manipulative, abusive drug dealer is a great idea on paper. But in execution, the character never feels as intimidating or as threatening as she needs to be for the story to have its full impact. Goldie is meant to be this terrifying figure that Fox is rightfully scared of, but her erratic and abusive nature isn't portrayed with enough consistent menace. Because of that, the final confrontation between them lacks the punch it really should have had. It's a case of a great actor being let down by a script that doesn't fully flesh out their character. The tone is also a bit of a mixed bag. The film can't seem to decide if it wants to be a gritty drama, a stylized action flick, or a dark comedy. It tries to be all of them at various points, and the shifts can feel jarring. One minute you're in a really heavy, emotional scene, and the next there's a wacky fourth wall break or an overly quirky character moment. It never finds a consistent rhythm, which makes the overall experience feel a little uneven. And finally, for a movie that so clearly wants to evoke the spirit of 80s action, it's surprisingly light on memorable action set pieces. The fights are competently shot, but they're not particularly inventive or thrilling. There's a lot of talent in this cast, including a brief appearance by Karen Fukuhara, who is utterly wasted in a role that gives her nothing of substance to do. You keep waiting for the movie to kick into a higher gear, for that one standout, over-the-top sequence that defines these kinds of films, but it never quite arrives. So, at the end of the day, Stone Cold Fox is a bit of a mixed bag. It's a movie with a great cast, a cool aesthetic, and a solid premise that doesn't fully capitalize on its potential. It's never boring, and there are enough enjoyable moments and performances, especially from Shipka and Sutherland, to make it a decent watch on a slow night. But it's also a film that feels like it's holding back, playing things a little too safe when it should be going for the jugular. It's a fun, flawed debut that shows promise, but doesn't quite stick the landing. I'm giving Stone Cold Fox a 6 out of 10. Alright, that's my take. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you felt about this one. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay up to date with all my movie reviews and movie analysis. I always appreciate your time, and I hope to see you in my next video.